Hey, we're back.
Hey, I'm really sorry, guys. I don't know what
Hey,
happened. I had some serious technical difficulties.
yes,
Sorry about that. I'm sure that I left everybody in good hands with you, Pat.
I think folks were jumped off and now they're jumping back on, so we're in good shape. Let's just pick up where we left off.
Okay.
We were talking about furniture,
Yes.
about the options for reuse. I was going on and on about Free Cycle and OfferUp and Craigslist and things of that nature. So I think we left it in a good place. I think the whole thing about tables and chairs and furniture and such is just remember thrift is not an option right now.
Right.
And but there are other options. I think that was it Craig or whoever made the question.
Alex.
Yeah, Alex, it's a great question right now, and I hope soon, that there'll be some more options for the thrift side. It's just they're not selling as much, so they
Right.
can't take as much. So it's just
Totally.
all it's a reality of how where we're at right now today. It's just a challenge.
Yeah, but I'm sure you talked all about the different options. I think that's really great.
Yeah.
And thanks everybody for hanging with me. I don't know what happened on my end. Things just
All
went
right.
crazy. Um, but yeah, so always finding another way to reuse it is a really great option. And you never know. I mean, people love free stuff, myself included. So
Oh yeah, yeah. There's a strong marketplace for free.
there's a very,
It's
and
great.
they'll come to your house for no contact pickup. I'm sure you talked about that. And it's
That's
like,
right.
it's a great way to kind of keep things going, meet some, help your community out. So it's always a good option.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So now we're at the part of the show where we check in on our weekly waste challenge because we
That's
pick a
right.
new tip or trick to try each week and report back on how we did because it's hard to change and try new things. So, we're no exception to that rule. So for Plastic Free July, we're really focused on decreasing single use plastics.
Right.
And so last week's challenge was how to find a way to use less plastic for home and health products. So like soaps, shampoos, etc. So I found this to be really challenging. I found that this was really hard. A lot of our home and health beauty care products come in plastic containers and bottles and tubes and all of that stuff. So there
I
are a couple.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to chime in. I think, I'm not a big health and beauty product user, but just looking through the bathroom, trying to figure out options. It's just I think the whole industry, that whole sector is it's very plastic container oriented.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and we talked about that a couple of shows ago when we talked about plastic flexible tubes, right? Like it just so much products come in that.
Yeah.
There were a couple of things that we have switched to. One thing is refillable, right? So Plastic Free July is all about, decreasing single use, right? It's great if you can go completely plastic free, but that's not always an option. So one thing that I actually just started doing a couple of weeks ago, so it wasn't for this weekly waste challenge, but it's been pretty good, is that at my local store, they actually offer bulk lotion. So I have like a plastic container, and what I do is if I'm going to the store, which that's the one good thing about making less trips to the store was that I was always failing on bringing reusable containers with me. And
Mhm.
now that I go to the store much less, it's a little bit easier to just take this back.
Sure.
I buy it by by how much it weighs, and
Mhm.
that's pretty easy, right?
Yeah.
And I will be honest, I used to have lots of different kinds of lotions, and I realized I just don't need that many. And one other thing that I have been doing is some of you guys may have seen these soap dispensers that have kind of the bigger top, and what it does is it makes a foam.
Hmm.
So what I found is one, my kids tend to wash their hands better if they can see like a big amount of foam on their hands. And what I did was I would buy like a Dr. Bronner's concentrate and fill just like this much in the bottom and then fill the rest with water. And so that has really cut down on it. Like this is an old soap dispenser that we've probably had for 2 years.
That's
So
great. My tip or kind of practice in the whole pump foam, or not necessarily foam, and I like the foam products. Those are great. They also spread out on your hands much quicker.
my kids do
Um,
way better with that.
right. That's with with the other, the gel squirt top thing is
Hmm.
I try to do like a half squirt.
Yeah.
The pump height. I don't know if these companies like they make the pump height really high, so you're like getting a huge amount of
Oh
soap
yeah.
squirt, way more than you need to wash your hands. And even in this time of COVID, when you want to do a good thorough wash, still just push it down halfway, take a little bit off of there and work it in because you don't have take that full amount,
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. I think that it's just using a little bit less and finding
Yeah.
ways to reuse your containers, make things go a little bit further. So, oh, and one thing actually I picked up from you was that I used to always have liquid soap for my kids, and we just switched to bar soap, and
Yeah.
it's less expensive. It comes in a paper wrapper. You don't have to buy, it's great if you can like go buy handmade soap from farmers markets, but you can
Oh,
also just buy a bar of Castile soap at the
yeah.
grocery store wrapped in paper, which is
Mhm.
fantastic. So,
Yeah, I love that. I love, you were talking earlier about the farmers markets. Now that's a great option, for those that can, or it's
right.
in their kind of flow of like, purchasing products, or they value the farmers markets, for the other reasons of supporting local and locally grown products and things of that nature too. It's all good. But, the half measure, the meet me halfway is just, it may be a national brand,
Right.
but it's a bar soap with a little paper wrapper and
Yeah.
you're good to go.
Exactly. So, but you and I, Pat, we talked about this. This is a hard thing. And I would really encourage any of you guys who are watching, please put it in the comments and let us know what you have tried to
Yeah.
decrease the amount of plastic in your home and healthcare products. Cause it's hard to figure out. I believe one of you had reached out to us when we talked about a similar topic a few episodes ago about toothpaste tablets, and we haven't tried those yet. So we would love to hear your recommendations and testimonials about, tips and tricks that you guys have tried.
I think one more thing I'll mention about this, and I don't have a lot of, care products, but just, and I'm of course, not like fashion or, whatever challenged in that respect, but just don't wash your hair every time you take a shower. You don't have to necessarily,
Yep.
because then you just reduce the amount of soap or shampoo you use. And at the end of the year, if you go through, 4 bottles instead of 8 bottles, then you're making progress, so it's just, that kind of thing. This bathing and showering and washing your hair every single day is kind of a strange, like requirement or expectation or something. It's like, just freshen up.
As somebody with longer locks, Pat, you'll be happy to know that that is no longer, well, in a lot of circles, is that they do ask you to just wash it every other time,
Uh-huh.
because you got to keep the oils in your hair to, it doesn't
Oh,
stay this shiny on its own, people,
okay.
right? You want to
Good
preserve
to
those
know.
natural oils.
Right.
So, but definitely a good tip. Just use a little bit less,
Yeah.
So for next week, because it's our last week in July, and we're definitely sticking with this
Right.
plastic-free July theme, we're going to talk about less plastic food packaging, which has definitely been tough, especially in the time of COVID. So feel free to, send us some tips, but Pat and I will try to figure out some ways to reduce our food packaging.
Yeah, there's so much to say. It's the big kahuna. I mean, food packaging is the main thing. We
Right.
all kind of like, we're just rifling through the packaging every day and every week, and that's fine. We all got to eat, we all got to consume, but there's so many little aspects of food packaging that we'd love to hear from folks about. What are your tricks? What do you see as a trend or a practice that reduces your plastic use? Yeah.
Totally. Absolutely. All right. Well, folks, that was another episode of Ask Evelyn. Thank you guys so much for sticking with us. And, Pat, thank you so much for just like keeping the ship on course. I really
Oh
appreciate
yeah.
that.
Well, we're here together. We're making it work. And
We'll make it work.
fun at it too. So that's good.
Definitely. So thanks everyone for tuning in. Those that retuned in, it was great to see you back. And remember to send us your questions and try to tell one person about us, because we got to spread the word. So we'll see you next Wednesday at 11:30 for more trash talk. And we hope that you find this as useful advice from your utility. And with that, I'm Becca Fong. And remember, life's better with less stuff.
And I'm Pat Coffin. Remember to recycle right. Thanks.
All right. Take care, everybody. We'll see you next week.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.